Cover songs have become a staple of VTuber culture, but how are they made? Hi, my name is Twy, and this will be a beginner-friendly guide to recording and mixing covers to help you make some new music this year. For our digital audio workspace today, we'll be using Reaper. There's a free download link in the description. And before we start, here are all of my keybinds if you'd like to pause and rebind yours to match. Don't worry about overwriting any existing ones, they aren't important. Everything starts with a good recording, so here are the basics. Use Ctrl-T to make a bunch of new tracks, double-click the speaker to turn off audio monitoring, and then arm your main track and press R to record. Get a few takes of your main vocal and pick your favorite. Then record 2 vocal doubles. Try to sing it the exact same as the main take. Finally, record 2 harmonies. Make sure to enunciate them the same as in the main take. Before any effects, it should sound something like this. Let's briefly touch on compositing, or comping for short. Use T to shuffle through your takes, and see if there's any words or phrases that aren't perfect on your main take. If there are, use S to split at the playhead and take that word or phrase from another take. We're compositing the best parts of our multiple takes into one super take. Combine all the best parts of your takes and then export your vocals. Use Ctrl-A to select everything in your project, and then render with selected track stems into your directory of choice. 44,100 versus 48,000 Hz doesn't really matter, but look in the top right of your screen to see which one you recorded in, and just use that. Next is a process called timing and tuning, and this is the one portion that we'll be using paid software. I highly recommend Melodyne. It is far and away the best plugin for this process, so try to get your hands on it by any means necessary. In a pinch, you could try to use a free plugin like ReaPitch, commission someone else to time and tune your vocals, or skip this step entirely for now. Go ahead and import your audio under the File drop-down. Make sure to also go under Options Time Grid and deactivate that. For timing and tuning, start by getting the lead vocal in time with the instrumental. Use the splitting tool to break down big slidey notes into more accurate separate notes if it helps. Then apply pitch correction and manually adjust for any inconsistencies. I usually go 80% pitch, center, and drift, as well as adjusting louder and quieter notes by 30%. Now go through and make all the doubles and harmonies line up with the main vocal, then port the finished vocals back to Reaper. Let's apply our vocal effects. There are 3 main ones. Make a new track and make it a folder encompassing all of our vocals. This will be our vocal bus where we add the effects. First is EQ. Create a band and listen for any unpleasant frequencies. Lower them, but be careful not to overdo it. Here I'm pulling down a slightly tinny area around 700 Hz, and I'm also adding a low shelf to remove any muddy frequencies at the bottom. I like to cut around 80 Hz for male vocals or 100 Hz for female, but just listen and trust your ears. Next is a compressor. This will balance the dynamics of our vocal. This is a free plugin called Vocal Compressor by Bertom, link in the description. Add compression until at your desired sound, and then use the trim to bring the volume down until it's where you want it. Lastly is reverb. This is a free plugin called Tall Reverb 4, link in the description. Use size and delay to make it sound as wide as you want. It should be hard to identify the reverb with the instrumental on, but obvious when it's turned off. Consider adding a de-esser and an exciter for a more well-rounded sound. This is the stock plugin de-esser that comes with Reaper. I like to set my de-esser around 6,000 Hz, but you can use the monitor function to listen for yourself and better target any sibilance. For an exciter, I'm using a free plugin called Fresh Air, but you could also make another EQ and manually make small frequency boosts yourself. Just a way to add a little more presence in the mid and high frequencies on your vocal at the end of the chain. Do any balancing and automations you want on the mix? I'll showcase a few. For starters, let's pan our layers. I'll put my doubles at 50% left and right, and my harmonies at 100% left and right, and I'll lower their volumes to around -12 and 8 decibels respectively. Just listen until it sounds subtle but full. Left side, right side, let's automate a panning effect to make the pa go from left to right. Press P on the track you'd like to automate panning, and then use Control-Click to add points on the timeline. And then make each word go from 100% left to 100% right for the ping-pong effect. Let's showcase a couple more. I have a bind to automate our last touch effect set to L. Go to your reverb, tap the wet knob, and then go back to your vocal bus and press L. This doesn't really matter for my example chorus, but in a full cover, you might want to lower the reverb during the verse and then bring it up for the chorus, maybe from 10% to 20% for example. Finally, you can also automate volume by pressing V. Let's do it on the instrumental to make it fade in and out. This is great for short covers. Make one last track as a folder that encompasses every other track for the master. Place a limiter over the project to prevent clipping. This is a free one by Kilohertz, link in the description. And you're finished! Here's the final product. Left side, right side, 歯を抜け出して照れくさいね Left side, right side, 歯を抜け出して You are king. You are king. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing, and I'll try to answer any questions in the comments below. May your music endeavors be fruitful, and your 2026 very productive.